For all those people that are saying that Eddie Redmayne is quite disturbing to look at in The Danish Girl, go watch White Chicks and tell me you're not gonna have fucking nightmares about the Wayans brothers. Yeah, think about that shit. In 3, 2, 1, hit it. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube? That is right. I am Chris Smith, and I got the hat on. Yes, it is a different hat, but it is not necessarily a different feel. This feel is still going on, but today we are talking about a movie that I was interested in seeing. We're talking about The Danish Girl. The Danish Girl, directed by Tom Hooper or Hopper, depending on which way you want to say it. He directed films like as Les Mis and The King's Speech, and very Oscar-winning movies. So that in its own self is a fantastic director. Now, this also stars Eddie Redmayne, fresh off The Theory of Everything, Alicia Vikander, which is also fresh off of Ex Machina. You bring all that together and you got one hell of a cast. Now, this movie, as I said, is directed by Tom Hopper. Now, getting this out the way, it is about a man named NR, a man named NR who is a painter and artist and whatnot, and through the help of and the support of his wife, played by Alicia Vikander, he is one of the first people that undergoes the sex operations. Now, this movie, I'm just going to say this right here, right now. If you are not comfortable with this subject, you are going to feel very uncomfortable and uneasy about watching this film. Now, granted, I'm not going to sugarcoat this shit. It is a bit hard to watch in some cases, but if you appreciate the film, if you appreciate film as an art form, then watch the movie. Get it out of your head, no matter what your views are. Watch it as a film. But Tom Hopper, or Hooper, depending on which way you want to call it, he is one of those very rare directors, right, that I like seeing his work. I saw The King's Speech, right? I seen Les Mis. But at the exact same time, those are two films that I saw once and I don't care to see them again. And sadly, this is kind of one of those films. It's one of those films that I experienced it. I watched it and I enjoyed it for the message that they're trying to come across. But at the exact same time, I'm not necessarily excited to be like, yo, dude, Saturday night, let's get some popcorn, some drinks, some chicks, and let's watch The Danish Girl. Boom. No, because it's just not that type of film. Now, like I said, it's an experience film. You want to watch it for the experience, and you respect film as an art form, you watch this thing. But let's talk about the performances right here. I almost messed up, but here we go. Let's talk about the performances. I'm messing up already. Let's talk about this right here, the acting. Just going to say acting. Eddie Redmayne, he's fantastic in this thing, and he really did transform into this role for the most part, where, his role almost consists of being kind of confused and lost in a way, because he's lost between two worlds. He needs to be in one world, which is like being a man, but at the exact same time, he wants to be himself, which is Lily, his alter ego of sorts. And you see that he's having this battle. It's like he's having a split personality disorder where he can't decide as to what happened previously or what is happening now. And that becomes a hard thing on him to bear, really. So, I enjoyed Eddie Redmayne, and he is fantastic in this thing. Now, granted, there are some scenes with him, particularly, where, they can get a bit graphic, just kind of giving you people a heads up. And there are some disturbing scenes in here. I'm not trying to sugarcoat this shit, as I said. Now, Alicia Vikander, she's fantastic also in this movie, and I feel like she may have had almost a harder part. More people have played the transgender role or a man dressing him as a woman role, and that's great. And Edward Redmayne does it fantastic in this. But Alicia Vikander, she has to play, that supportive wife, and she has to. I feel like she shows more emotions in different cases than Eddie Redmayne, because she has to accept him and then act like she's a happy couple of sorts, and then it becomes a whole bunch of things to do. Now, eventually, when they find out that, or when she finds out that he is very excited about women's clothing, he kind of finds himself, like he mentioned it before, that he did it, he dressed it before as Lily. But at the exact same time, he also mentions that, or when he's painting and whatnot, when his wife is kind of encouraging him to, like, wear a dress, which is like, hold the dress up, you start to see, like, through his art, he kind of finds himself in some way. And in a way, this is like and there's scenes where she's kind of like dressing him up and going for these parties and whatnot as a bit of a joke at first. It's kind of like, all right, they're a cute couple and it's nice. It's a bit of a a strange love story of sorts. And I feel like that came across very well. But at the end of the day, this is a story about, coming to terms about who you are and just accepting it and saying fuck it to the world. If that's you, then go ahead. I'm not going to get preachy on this, but if that's you, then go ahead and do it. And have fun being yourself. Don't let anybody fuck off. Just tell everybody to fuck off and just be whatever you can be. If that's you, then that's you. If you're a rock, then be a fucking rock. No matter what you are, that's what it is. Now, is this movie, even though it takes place in like the 1926, I feel like this is a subject matter that is very, relevant in today's times. Obviously, with like shit like Bruce Jenner or whatnot, and all these type of people that somehow, are affected by these things. They're having a hard time adjusting to what they are and how to, live in this type of world without being, neglected and whatnot. Now, some things that I didn't have that much of interest in, like I said, personally, it's an interesting story, but I feel like this is not it's not that great of a film. It's the two leads that really make you be like, damn. I believe them. Eddie Redmayne has a transformation in this movie, which is unbelievable in some cases. Now, granted, he didn't look fully like a woman, obviously, but his body movements transformed, and I feel like that's really where Lily came out of him. The body movements and kind of the facial gestures, not necessarily how he looked in the face, because he still looked like a dude, but everything else kind of came out there. Now, like I said, Alicia, she's fantastic in this movie, and I can't really say enough about her. She maybe better in Ex Machina, but that's just me personally. Like in this one, she's great in it. But yes, the direction is great. The writing is pretty solid. It still has like that tone, a bit of like the King's Speech. It feels like it's almost in that exact same world, to the point where Tom Hopper, for some reason, as I said before, it's a movie that I don't want to see again. I don't care to see again. Now, that's not necessarily because of the subject matter. It's just that I don't personally care to see it again. That's just me. It's a good movie. The performances are great, and it has an interesting message. As I said, it's a bit of a strange love story. But at the end of the day, it's about coming to terms about who you are and just living with it. Eventually she does. It's about the sex operation, and there's many people out there that's doing it. Now, like I said, this thing is disturbing. If you're not comfortable with the subject matter, then I advise you, maybe you don't want to see it. But if you're a film fan like I am, I see films as an art form because I like film. Regardless of what the film's about, I still see them. If I find it slightly interesting, I'm going to see it. And I did. I watched it. I don't regret watching it because I'm an adult. I can look past it as a film. But will I ever see it again? Probably not. But that doesn't take away that it is a well-made film. Should it win an Oscar? No. Should the two leads be nominated? Yeah, they should. Director? Not really. You've seen better work from him. But then again, like I said, I'm not that giant big of a fan. The Danish Girl is a well-crafted movie with an interesting message and a bit of a strange love story that, is very relevant in today's time, even if it's, obviously in an older time. Also a quick thing, just kind of pointing that out there. Amber Heard is in this movie, and Amber Heard and Ben Whishaw. I enjoyed their parts in here. Ben Whishaw, he has a relationship with Lily. It's kind of like odd, but you kind of understand it in a slight way. And Amber Heard, her accent is just kind of okay. But yeah, so that's my review on The Danish Girl. If you want a review, you want a number, I'll give you a freaking number. I'll give it a solid 7. That's it. It's a solid film. Go watch it. Yes, but that's my review. Comment, subscribe, like. Help me get to 60 subscribers before the new year, and I will give you a shout out. Deborah McCoy, which was the recent person that subscribed, I'm giving you a shout out right here, right now. Signing out.